And you're with Pastor Troy right here. We are on the doc.org. On the Doc is our program. I'm Pastor Troy. We got a show that drops every Tuesday and Thursday. New releases coming out. We are in season 3, and it's going to be a great time. We've had a lot of challenges to get on the air today. Mother Beth's my co-host today, but do you have a picture of the seat that's empty? Do you have it? No, you don't really. Just get, yeah, she's not here. So we don't really know where she is. Do you have that duty sound? Oh, that, well, yeah. We think she's going to come in at some point in time. That's it. We don't know where she's at. She's somewhere out there. We hope she comes in because, gosh, she's on the schedule. So, but we got to move forward. We got to guess. He came all the way in. He's international, so we got to do this thing. And Don and I are ready to go. And you wouldn't believe how much trouble we had just getting TVs and connectors and cords. So that tells you you're in for something good. The devil wanted to defeat us today, and the devil has already been defeated. And so the devil's a lie. So we're ready on the doc.org every Tuesday and Thursday. We're all about conversations right here around this cottonwood table here on the doc that'll get your faith out of the shallows and into the deep. So get ready to get out there, and we're going to take on the enemy, and we're going to go out there and sell with the Lord. On the Doc is on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. Those are our primary sites. Go check those out. Those are our main places, YouTube by video, Spotify and iTunes by audio. We also have a host of other sites like Google Play, Facebook, Roku, Rumble, Sermonet. You can check those out. Also, go to our social media partners, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and Getter. We'd love to have your conversation. Share with us about your experiences. Anything in the show that gets your mind, get in a dialogue with us. And once you find us on any of those platforms, hit subscribe, hit like, hit notify, whatever they do. They got punch balls and whatever they do. Just do the thing they say do. And then share this with other people. And we'd love to have your comments. Go to Patreon. The Patreon site is where we let you partner with us to help do this show. We have 4 levels of partnership, 3 levels where you can be a sponsor on the show. 4 levels of partnership means you're part of the team here, and we have different levels, and we'll be involved with you, and you'll be a part of the team here. But sponsorship is about if you're a business or a Christian organization, you've got a Christian ministry, and you'd like us to do a spotlight on you, and you'd like to be a sponsor on this show, we'll help you do that as well. Go check that out at Patreon. Download the app. On the doc, find with Pastor Troy at Patreon, and you can find us. We're also with slnt.com. That's our new affiliate partnership. And if you want to keep your stuff private, you need to get a Faraday bag just like this. And you can go to www.slnt.com/discount/OTD. If you can't remember all that, go to slnt.com, check out their stuff. And then when you go to the promo code and check out, type in the words I almost said zero, OTD. That'll get you all of our discounts and our special deals for being on the doc team member. So we're glad to have you there. On the doc.org, it's all the details here. You can go find all the links to all of our sites there. On our website, you can find all the links to my Patreon, and also you can find out about our affiliate. Go to our affiliate page. We're going to have more affiliates coming up. It's a big thing in season 3. We've never had an affiliate partner. At the end of this episode, we'll show you a short commercial so you can see more about what these Faraday bags will do for you. They'll keep Google, and they'll keep all these people that are listening to your phone. Even when you think your phone's off, they're listening to you. This Faraday bag will stop them. On the doc.org, check it out. We'd love to have you. Well, right now, I am your single host, Pastor Troy, and eventually we might have, here, I'll put her picture up, Mother Beth. We're supposed to have Mother Beth here. We just have her dressage, her face. So we'll just act like she's asking questions. And maybe occasionally we'll throw a sound effect. Maybe she'll show up. We don't know. Donna Kardisky's in the studio on tech. She's on camera, but not on voice. So we can maybe see her face. I don't know. But she's had to deal with all the crises of the day. She has the light. And if you become a Patreon partner or sponsor, we are in the process. We have bid out what it's going to take to get 6 cameras, 6 mics on here. And I'm waiting to punch the button, be a Patreon partner or sponsor, and we'll get there. Lucas has us ready to go. We're just waiting on you to partner with us. All right, we're ready, and we're continuing in our season 3. We have 2 series in season 3. One of those series is Building Stronger Churches, and we're doing a series of teaching, and we're doing a series of bringing in guest pastors from various strong churches that are not compromising. They are the remnant leaders of our region. We're doing that big series throughout season 3, but we're also doing another series through season 3 called Taking It to the Street Spotlight. And in those spotlights, we're spotlighting various individuals, businesses, and different things that we think will really help you get connected and make a difference with them for Jesus Christ. And in the studios, we are focusing today on taking it to the street spotlight, and we're focusing in on the Hands of Hope Foundation of Liberia. Now, just to let you know, just for the record, we are Hands of Hope Foundation. On the Dock is a part of the Community Faith Church global family and a part of the Hands of Hope Foundation. And I actually, in addition to being your most handsome host for this episode, am also the executive director and the founder of the Hands of Hope Foundation. But we have also got NGO partners that we've developed over the years in both Thailand, and we've had season 1 episode where we've talked to our Thailand leaders, Daniel and Steffi Voppel, and we've talked to Margie Granger and others over there. And in this season, we've got a guest in who is our national director for the Hands of Hope Foundation Liberia, and it is none other than our special guest. We're going to turn his mic on. Let him say hello to you. It's the Reverend Paye Mondolo, and he is our national director in Liberia, West Africa. Welcome to On the Dock, Pastor Paye.
Thank you very much.
We're glad to have you here. He's here with his wife, Mother Deborah. And I'm going to cough for a minute, uncontrollably. Excuse me. Golly. We'd stop it, but we're not stopping. And today we're going to take on the part 1. We're going to do 3 parts in this. Today, the story from start to today, part 1. So, Paye, tell us a little bit about your incredible self. I got a picture here of Mother Deborah right here, right there. She is here, but she is hiding someplace. I'm going for a cough drop. She's hiding someplace with Mother Beth, so we don't know where they have gone. So, Paye, tell us a little bit about where you're from and what you're all about. We know that you wear many hats. Let's start off by all the hats you wear. Tell us about your hats.
Thank you very much. I'm Paye Mondolo. I'm from Liberia, and I'm from a village called Bowe in northern Liberia. As it relates to my hat that I wear as a responsibility, I'm the president of the Coalition of West Africa. I'm the national director of the Hands of Hope Foundation. I'm a pastor. I'm the pastor trainer. I'm an evangelist.
Wow.
I'm the husband, and I'm the father to children.
Fantastic. Now tell me how many kids your wife's mother, Deborah, tell me how many children you have that are yours, and then you've got, of course, an extended family.
Yes, we have 6 children. We have all girls, and we are happy to be a father of our girls, and they are doing wonderful. My wife and I, we are joyful. We also have a lot of children that we sponsor. After serving as a district superintendent is a father of fathers to many children like a district. Uh-huh. So when we retire from that position, we still have over 10 children that we care for. But in our homes, we right now have 7 of them that we are responsible to host, feed, and take care of.
So you're a pastor. Your original calling is to the pastorate. You've been a Methodist pastor for your whole career as a pastor.
Right.
And you serve both in churches and even as a superintendent. And today you're appointed to the College of West Africa. Explain it. Is that a university? Is it a college preparatory school? How would you describe it?
The College of West Africa is the oldest learning institution in Liberia. It was established in 1839. It was originally established as a college. In the early 1920s, they had some challenges and they moved into having a secondary education. So right now it is a high school.
But doing college, preparing kids to excel in the college world and beyond.
It prepared kids for college education.
And so you serve as the president of that. In addition, you're also serving a church.
I also serve in a church as a pastor and also a pastor trainer.
And then Paye and I met in 2007. He was in the United States. And what I want to do a little bit in this episode is we're going to take a little bit of time and we're going to share with you the story. And I've got that up for the title today, the story from start to today. We want to give you a feeling on how Hands of Hope Liberia was born. Hands of Hope itself was born in 2004 and 5 as an event when I was a Methodist pastor in this Springfield region. And we were doing Hurricane Katrina and Rita response. And so it was an event where we did a concert and a fund drive, and we had a big fund drive from resources to go down and help hurricane victims for Katrina and Rita. And so we did the big event, raised the money, then got the supplies down there. The Hands of Hope event was over. A couple years later, in 2007, Reverend Paye Mondolo was in our country visiting, and he was partnered with the local Methodist district where I was serving as a pastor. And he was visiting from superintendent with our superintendent and was visiting around the churches because there had been a partnership formed. And I'm going to have him explain a little bit more about why and what had happened to cause that. But we'd formed an overseas partnership. And when he was traveling here, I was asked by my superintendent at the time if I would host him for a day or evening at our church. And I had just gotten back from doing my own crusade with our family in the church that I served in Honduras, Central America. We'd been to La Entrada. We had spent the entire month of August, my family, with $30,000 of money we'd raised with the church and through the church in Pawnee to go there for the purpose to plant a new church in a coffee-growing region up in the Mayan ruins of Honduras. And that's what we did. I'm going to cough again for you, Donna. I'm trying to give her a little bit of a warning. So we went there, did it, and came back and were very successful. And where we met Paye was when we come back. So Paye, tell us a little bit about our first meeting. How did we meet? What's your perspective? I always tell the story. How did we meet?
Well, I'm in the United States visiting, and I'm visiting my partner district, is Sankamoroa district. And Jerry King, he was serving as a district superintendent. After a few days with Jerry King, and we talk about ministry work and mission work, and each time I go to some of the churches I will come, and we have to sit down and discuss about...
Debrief.
Yeah, discuss about what is happening. So he said, well, after we discussed on the second trip I had, he said, well, I think I need to hook you up with a pastor that you guys will understand each other.
That's what Jerry told me. He says, all Jerry told me was, you're his kind of people. He's your kind of people.
Yeah. And so Jerry said, are you going to meet with Pastor Troy? And so we sat on the appointment, and I know Pastor Troy was very busy. And then he have come from a crusade and outreach. He needed to do a presentation of the report. And he asked if I could be part of it, and then he was do also the lunch.
We did a meal that evening. It was like a Wednesday. It was like a Sunday night special service just to present this. We were doing a Cajun meal.
Yes, and then he's doing the meal, the dinner, and then there are several other things going on. And he did an excellent presentation of the trip. I see God moving, and after the presentation, a wonderful presentation, and then he want a response from the congregation and those who were there. But I see one thing that he's doing very well, but he could do more in Liberia. So he asked if anyone, if we have question. Well, I stood up and said, well, I really don't have a question, but I want to invite you to Liberia because what you're doing through interpretation, you can do that without interpretation.
With English. Yes. He was saying, you did one of these in Spanish with interpreter. You can come and do several with me in English. It'd be easier.
Yeah. So I invited him. I said, well, can you consider to do the crusade in Liberia, to partner with me? He said, well, okay, but, I got this on hand. I said, well, this would be easier. You would not need interpreter.
Yeah, we had a 1-year commitment to the church we just planted. So I said, well, I'm going to need about a year. So, but I'm interested. Go ahead.
Say, well, we can work on it. We can work on the details. And, that's how our conversation started.
I agree.
And by the grace of God, we had a plan.
We've seen that really explode. What happened was I went back, and Jerry, our superintendent, I had told him I wasn't interested in meeting with Paye, but I did it out of the courtesy. I went back the next day and said, well, I'm actually interested now. And Paye had a need for a district parsonage. He was rebuilding the entire region for his church. I want Paye to tell a little bit about. We'll get into more of our relationship and where it's gone. But when Paye came to me, he was walking. How long was the walk from Monrovia to your district center?
You have 7 to 8 hours
To walk. Yeah, from Monrovia. We're talking about 60 kilometers or something like that. Was it?
Right. And then besides that, that was not the only distance we had.
That's just the center.
That was just the center. Yeah, I mean, some of the distance you have like 12 to 14 hours.
Yeah,
walk.
yeah. His county, for those of you that are in Southern Illinois, his district is bigger than the size of Williamson County. You know, it's bigger. It would be like Williamson and Jackson. Just imagine having to walk across your business. You're a district representative to all these little churches way out in the bush. And there's no real road network. It's rough then. There's roads, but they're dirt roads or damaged roads. They've been through 14, 15, 16 years of Civil War.
16 years Civil War.
And he can explain that a little bit. And so his travel was tough.
Yes, and we have just come from the war, and the country is about to settle down, and new government is in place, and how can they reorganize and reestablish a nation? And my conference asked me to go back, saying it is my people to go back and see how most of the churches that were damaged and closed down.
They assigned him to a region.
Yes.
They told him to go live there. There was no place to live. They assigned him to a region. There's no vehicle to go there. They assigned him to a region with really no salary other than the bishop sharing a portion of his salary through the larger Methodist church at the time.
Yes.
And so basically this man, and at that time you probably had 4 or 5 kids then.
Yes.
Yeah, began to do that work. And prior to that, you were doing evangelism to people in Monrovia and the poor and the different zones and the drug addict kids. And you've been doing very challenging ministry.
Right. I was involved with the prison and drugs addict children on the street. So I was basically involved with street ministry.
So this didn't scare you, but there was a lot of logistics. Right. And to reset a whole district the size of basically, a big piece of Southern Illinois, he had to do on foot patrol. And when he would get there, he'd sleep in somebody's house and go from here to there on the generosity of others and not have a place to even have his family come. So how long would you be gone and not maybe see your family?
So sometimes I'm going for more than a month because I have to go, and it's not something that you can do immediate and just go and come back, because you have to accomplish a lot or move on before you.
You had to move around the circuit of the district you're at. So
right.
I don't think a lot of us understand the passion here to be able to go and be called by your Episcopal leader, your bishop, to go lead an area. But there's nothing to get there. There's no place to stay. And really the area doesn't formally exist. He's having to reorganize it. There's only one physical church that's still established there
right.
from the war. Everything else was destroyed or broken down. And that was St. Peter's, correct?
Yes, that was St. Peter. And then to reorganize the district was the major task that I was sent back to Wheeler region to reorganize the district, because a lot of the churches were broken down and people were discouraged, and no place to stay. People are now resettling from the refugee camp and display center. So in that light, how to reorganize the district was a huge challenge of the conference. So the conference bishop asked me to go back.
And how many districts? This is not just happening in your district. There are other districts where this is.
Other districts were doing the same.
The whole nation.
The whole nation were doing the same, but most especially in the rural part was the most challenging area.
Because in the city you can get around and it's a smaller contained area. Here you got 100.
Right, because the entire population migrated. 80 to 90% of the population migrated to the city
of Monrovia.
Monrovia. So the rest of the others were deserted because things were not existing, and a lot of the roads and infrastructure got damaged and broken down because of the war. So to reestablish the district at the time, there needed to be a lot of work. You need to put in school. You need to put in.
There's no school. There's no water. There's no place to live. There's no homes for the pastors. There's only one structured church in the whole district he's given. So, everybody else is meeting in temporary scaffa, like a scaffa. Right. Scaffa, which is basically a king pole built with a thatch roof.
Yes.
Which is very tough when you have 5 months of a rainy season that's raining as hard as the rain you've ever seen in Southern Illinois.
But there you see the people having a heart to serve.
Absolutely.
They want to come to serve God.
Yeah, we're luscious here compared to this. People do not understand.
And it is not a situation of, letting the people calling them and say, well, you need to serve. They want to serve, but they don't have the means. They don't have the area for worship. So it was something that, because they know what God have done for them during the war, they want to have that connection. But you need to let them know how to serve God more effectively and be able to allow them to see beyond themselves that it can be better than what it is now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things that's crazy is I was a Methodist pastor for 20 years, and when I went to take over Community of Faith, I became a part of an independent community church, left in good standing, still partner with the current church and doing a lot of work. So when I began Hands of Hope, I was inside doing those events when I first met him with Jerry and stuff. And later in 2010, I would move outside, but continued working directly with the Methodist Church in Liberia. What's crazy is in the Methodist, your bishop gives you an appointment and says, you're going to this church, or you're going to this superintendency, or you're going to go serve the College of West Africa. And that's where you go. You can ask for reconsideration. You can ask for them to maybe you have a hardship or a need, but the bishop doesn't have to do that.
No.
You got to go where you're sent. So when you were at your conference and the bishop said, Bishop Enos, John G. Enos said, I'm going to send you to nowhere, Wheela, that doesn't exist with no churches. I mean, and you get to be a superintendent, which is like right behind the bishop. So it's a bigwig position, but it's not a bigwig place. No. So did you get excited, or did your wife want to kill you? I mean, because my wife would want to know, what have you done to be punished like this?
Initially, my appointment was not embraced by my family.
No, it wouldn't. It would. I would think you did something to the bishop's family.
So
you were being exiled.
Yes, and leaving from Monrovia to go to Wheela, well, it's like you're going to nowhere.
Yes,
and
it's like Culp. It'd be like living in nothing but Culps.
Yeah, and there seemed to be no possibility in the mind of those who are just limited in thinking.
So did your family you need to go? You need to go back to the bishop and figure out what you did.
Yeah. I mean, I remember my wife talking to me and said, what was the situation at the conference? I mean,
what have you done, Paye?
What happened? Because this is a place that you have a lot of misunderstanding and people that have broken down, people who want to leave out. So if you're going to serve this area, who do you serve, and where do you start from? In fact, the first thing is that you do not have a place to stay.
You don't have anything to drive. You just got your feet.
and not only that, but you do not have a hope of a salary.
No. And when the bishop's paying you a little bit of salary.
You are paying a little bit of salary, but that would not
little bit. I mean,
that would not carry
guys,
you.
We're talking about in that time, $120 a year would be a salary. We're not $20, 25. Your pastors were making that kind of money, right?
Even some of the pastors had no money at all.
No money at all. They just serve.
As called salary.
So come on in, honey. We've been waiting. You've been introduced and all that. You doing okay? 5 o'clock. You're okay. Everybody knows you're coming. You've been introduced. My wife just arrived on the set. She got a different set call time, but she'll come on in here in a minute as soon as she gets things going. But so your wife, I mean, did your wife carry this for a while?
Yeah, she have to understand our calling, because the wife always need to back the husband.
Yeah,
and you have to understand that even when your husband is called to ministry, it's
a good word in thought, but backhand would have been what would happen to me. So
yeah,
so you go out there, you find very little. You start reinitiating hope, but then how do you get to the? I guess I've never asked you. How did you get to the United States for that first meeting where I met you?
Well, I'm in the district, moving, conducting training and doing evangelizing and reorganizing the churches. And then there's a training that's coming up in Dallas, and they want evangelists. They are calling on evangelists across the world to gather for this training. And there's a pastor who have been to Dallas Theological Seminary, who already know about this training, and he hears about what I'm doing.
Wow.
So, and he and I have no relationship. He had brought in missionaries, and so he already hear that, oh yeah, Paye was here, he passed, and this. So he decided to recommend.
Wow.
And at that time, because I was first in the department of evangelism and serving. So when the training came out, they said, well, this evangelist who have moved here, can we see him? But I'm so busy to see somebody. So they recommended me in my absence.
Wow.
And I received a mail.
So basically they provide a scholarship for you to come over.
Right.
And then you decide to come up to the district and meet the superintendent you're partnered with.
Yes. So I received this invitation, and before leaving, then the one who recommended me, and it was the first time I was sitting before him, and we were talking, and I just praise God for his recommendation. And
wow, I've never asked you, how did you get to the district here? Did you just arrange that with Jerry?
So yeah, then I was at Dallas Theological Seminary after my program. Then I called on the bishop. I said, well, you told me about we having a partner relationship with the Illinois Global Conference. Is it possible for me to visit there? He said, yes, I will link you to a partner district.
Wow.
So Jerry called
That's
me.
what Jerry called me in a panic. Said, I got this guy coming. Can you help me with him? But I was getting ready to go. I was on my trip thing. So I said, no, you weren't here yet. And I blew it off way ahead in advance. So then Jerry had to set things up.
Yes. And Jerry made an arrangement, and I got to Illinois from Dallas.
Wow.
And he and I met. We decided to talk about the district. And you know that every time I'm traveling and doing mission work, I already have my plans.
Yeah, I know you do. When Paye stood up and we got done with everybody's questions, and you were polite because he waited till all the people in our church had kind of asked all their questions that day. And we had a lot of questions. It was a great video. Someday I'll put the video up and let you see it. Presentation, it was spectacular. Our family did a great job, and God moved, and it's just been transformative for our family and for our ministry, because it was a testing in Honduras to see if we could do what Hands Up would become. It's almost the trip was called Seeds of Faith, so you can actually see it on. Oh gosh, I'm not sure where to take a look at it, but I'll figure it out. Maybe one of the next episodes will show it to you, but it was called Seeds of Faith Tour. It was the plant season. I wanted to see if the hope that we had in the idea of Hands of Hope could go, and my work as a church planner could go international. And so it was kind of a test seed test, and it worked. And then Paye stands up and he says, well, do you want to come do it here? So I had him come up that night after. I said, if you're serious, we'll talk. So when he came up, I said, tell me about yourself a little bit more. We talked a little bit, but not. Then he gave me the details of his district and the walking and the no place to live, no office, and no place to train new pastors, and not even really churches that were solid. But he told me all this they had it had been lost in a war. And he was passionate about it. And I said, it sounds to me like the first thing you need to do is get your family and you in the district where you can quit walking and being gone from them, so you have a support system and a training center where you can begin to rally the troops and the leaders. And he said, yep, I do. And I just so happen to have the plans for that. He pulls all of them out. It's a full set of plans with dollars. I mean, it's well designed too. He came, you talking about coming ready for the Lord to work. He had studied to show that self-approved, workman unashamed of the word, rightly dividing the word of truth. And so he showed that to me and said, well, I'll tell you what, let me get you back to Jerry. Let me have lunch with you tomorrow, and let's get serious about this. So it led to us meeting, and I get to hear a lot more about him. And what you're hearing is just a small piece of this, because we're going to back up and we're not finished with this episode at all yet. But when we get to the next episode, one of the things I'm going to do is go back and we're going to talk about the Civil War till today. And you're going to find out what he was doing during the Civil War. So hardship isn't something that is new to you. No, you've lived some tough decisions. And people are going to be shocked when you hear, we think things are tough. Things are not tough. And And I was learning that very quick about him, and I really appreciate that. His heart and eyes were bonded. We're both church planners. We're both evangelists. And I just thought, man, this is my brother. We got same dad and same call, and we may be from the different side of the planets, but this is going to be something special. And so we began to talk about what to do next. And what that led to was me going to my superintendent and saying, in 1 year, I'm willing to go help this guy tremendously. I really want to do this, but I have to finish the one agreement. I have to fund this other church for a year. Our church was already taking on salary in a building for a new church in Honduras. And when we started the project in Honduras called Seeds of Faith, we were the only church in our whole, district, even mostly in the conference, doing anything meaningful outside. I think Peoria was doing some stuff with Ganta. But we're talking about a lot of conference, and we're doing what they're asking everybody now to do. And so when Jerry called me, I said, I love the idea. This before I met you. I love the idea, but Jerry, I'm already doing that. I don't need you to help me do it. I need y'all to get doing this, and I'm proud of you. Go get them. And that's what I said. But when I met you, I thought, man, we got to go do this. And so I went to Jerry, our superintendent, and I held him hostage. I went to him and said, Jerry was desperate to organize something because every district was doing things. And I said, you remember a Hands of Hope that we did for Katrina Rita, Jerry, in 4 and 5? He said, yeah, you raised a lot of money for us. We looked really good. I said, what if I did a Hands of Hope event for our Liberia project and got everybody to come in the district, pledge some money, and then we go build this center. Every church, we had 136 churches. We all donate money, and everybody has a fun day. And just like that, we raise a bunch of money. We build his $54,000 district center in Parsonage. And by the way, Jerry, he says, I like that. He says, what do you want? I said, I want your ring. I want absolute dictatorship and total monarch. I want to be able to write everybody in the district, use your name, sign your signature, and tell them what's expected. And he says, you won't believe this. He said, I'll do it. And he did. I wrote hard letters saying, hey, I need you to come to a meeting. We're going to tell you what we're doing. Bring the pastor, bring your mission chair. And I said, your superintendent requires it. It was very forceful. I was like, guys like Esther and Ruth, when the Artaxerxes writes that hard letter, and they all showed up. We cast a vision, and we said in 90 days, we started this before Easter, at the end of Pentecost, we're going to meet and have a celebration like we did for the hurricane. And we're going to do a big party and music, and you're going to bring your offering. And I cut a deal with Jerry. I got Roger Ross to help me because he was at Springfield First, and we needed their grounds to do it. Roger Rominger hosted the first event for the hurricane, but he had left. He had retired. So I got Roger Ross. We were already friends. He had started another new church. We had both been new church planners. And I said, Roger, I'm interested in going to Liberia to work with Paye. Would you like to go? He said, yeah. But both of us are church planners. We didn't really care about your office, but what we liked is you said, I need an office so I can build new churches. And so we went to Jerry and said, Jerry said he needs an office. And he thought office is good. I said, well, Jerry, what about every dollar we raise over $54,000? You tell us it can go to build those new churches. He says, that's a deal. And Jerry said, when he said yes, he figured we would barely raise the 54 if we were even raised the 54. Yeah. We raised 136,000, which was enough to build 3 more churches. And you actually ended up building more than 3 more churches.
Yeah, more than 3.
More than 3, like 5. So when we raised all the money, Jerry was shocked, but he had made the promise that Roger and I then could work with Paye to go ourselves, be a part of the crusades, and do what you asked that day. You said, could we start 3 churches?
Right.
We did it. Tell us what happened there. We got over, and give us a little bit more on that. Beth, you can get on set anytime you're ready to. We're ready for you, honey. Okay. All right. We'll grab you in a second. Your mic's ready and everything. Tell us about what happened after that.
Yeah, we have identified 3 churches that would be built. We talk about number 7 with Salala and Totota.
That's right.
But the 3 churches God was so faithful, and He continued to be faithful to us. Yeah. So the 3 churches we completed the 3 churches, and then we still have some resources. We had to move to CD Sherman.
That's right.
Then
Freeman Reserve.
We have to move to Freeman Reserve to build those additional
and you
churches.
had congregations actually were meeting there that you'd been a part of.
Yes.
They just didn't have facility or the building needed reconstruction.
The building needed reconstruction.
But the 3 we built from scratch, and we went and did the crusades to restart them. And what Paye's not telling you is we raised them. In 7, I met him. In 8, we did the offering. And then we went over right after that to go
crusade?
to do the crusades in the three communities and start the congregations. Now, they didn't get a building right away.
No.
What he did was form congregations that met in basically tents for the next year. And then he began to do the process of forming the congregations and building their churches. And we took teams back in the following year for the dedication of those buildings. Yeah. And that's where we found out not only had he done 3 buildings, but we found out there were others that money went to help.
Right. So, I mean, additional buildings were put up. So we put up St. Thomas.
Yes.
St. Thomas.
That was the next year we brought more resources.
Yes.
People believed in what we were doing. We started getting people saying, "Oh, I'll help with this one. I'll help with this one." And we began to bring in. We were doing in those days. Hands Up's known today for medical. We weren't doing any medical in 8, 9, and early 10. We were just doing church development. We were doing water wells, and we had started working with you in your school. So on the grounds of St. Peter's and where the Wayala District Center was built, we dedicated that the first year in 2008 when we came. You had that building done, so we sent that money ahead. And that's when we did from the new center, we did the crusades for the new building. So in 8, we dedicated the center. In 9, we dedicated 3 buildings plus the other 2 buildings that you did. And then in the following year, we're adding on St. Thomas and other churches.
Yeah, and the district center was dedicated and declared by the bishop as a mission station.
As a mission station. And in the meantime, the church we were working with, Roger Ross, Springfield First Methodist at the time, they helped through donors and stuff to help build a school.
Right.
And so we have a school being built on the grounds. We have churches going up, and what was a rubber tree farm like Firestone. If you go Google rubber tree farm. There's just like a big, huge, tall tree plantation where they catch the rubber in a cup every day, and that goes to Firestone, and they make your tires. And that's their number one export. So this was a rubber tree farm that became the center in Wayala in this unnamed district, became very quickly a center of hope. When I first went there with Paye, there was nobody.
Yes. And then after the church got completed and the district headquarters got built and the school, people began to build around the center.
They would move there to go to school. They'd move there because of other things. And every time I go back, I don't even recognize how to get to the area because so many families are moving. And then we started adding a water well here and a water well over there. And you could see the spider paths of people coming to get the water. The community was developing. Paye was a central leader of the community. The pastors were coming to life. Churches are coming to life. He was having massive growth, and he's an incredible leader, incredibly gifted leader. And we got there in 2010, and I'm going to transition this and get us to a little bit more into the modern time. If you go to Hands Hope Foundation, I'm going to put this up just so if you're listening, you're going, I want to find out more about this. I've got it up here, hohfoundation.org. That's our foundation. And you can find out more about what we're doing both here and other places, but you can see the Liberia stuff on there and some videos and links and stuff. You can go to HOH Foundation on Facebook. Go find Hands Hope Foundation on Facebook and see a lot more stuff. You can go to Paye Cooper Mondolo's Facebook page and find some of that. But you can go take a look at this, and gosh, it's amazing. So in 2010, I moved to Community Faith Church. I left the Methodist Church, and I came here. And on my first trip, which was right after I got here, I took a handful of people from here, and they happened to be doctor and nurse heavy.
Right.
We never had that. And one of the buildings he had been built on his grounds that we didn't build was built by the Norwegian Methodist Church and was to be a clinic, but it was a finished building with no windows and doors that was basically a chicken house because they built a clinic, but they didn't send doctors, nurses, or anything for the clinic. It was just an empty house, and it was basically unoccupied. And we took the right people from here, and Gene Webster from Springfield First was with us to look at the school.
Yeah.
And they all said, we could make that a clinic.
Right.
And in 2010, we made that decision. And in 11, we brought, we brought, I think in 2010, we had our doctors do some checkups and well checks on the students. We only did checkups. But in 11, we sent a container in and equipped the clinic.
Right.
And everything has changed since.
And now the clinic, it is the number 1 clinic in the entire region, and that clinic is running 24/7. And every day, that clinic delivers babies.
In 2013, we built a surgical center on, And we began to take more, not just family practice, we take surgeons in. We took eye surgeon, Dr. Umana, and people from connected to him. We took other teams from other countries, Pro Health International. And for years, we have been taking teams in once a year, doing 1 and 2 week, 3 week, outreaches and doing just amazing stuff with watching. Originally, there was almost no medical community there. And now in 2023, I went back in 2022, we're working with a very fast developing now medical community. We're partnering with them at new levels. And you're saying today the clinic Wayala that we started is now the number one rural health clinic.
It is the number one clinic in the rural part into the Wayala area. Now, the clinic is being run the day-to-day activity by students that we sent to school.
Yeah.
And students have now become health personnel. Wow. That like Sonny, who is now the officer in charge of the clinic, he went to one of the best schools in Liberia, and Hands of Hope sponsored Sonny from grade school to university.
All the way through. And what we had a thing called the Hope Scholarship Fund, and we funded, when we first went there, when Roger and I first went the first time, we took on a class, and I don't know if I have a picture of it or not, but let me see if I can show one here real quick with Roger at least. Roger's in front of the school here. I threw it in the mix here, so I knew that would come up. Where's my picture, Roger? Too many pictures, not enough time. Roger and us, gosh, we just saw God do so much things. I don't know. Oh, here it is. There you go. Right there. The right school is one of the classrooms in the school that was built. There's a full high school, right, with a full elementary school. And Beth and I, on our first trip, Beth sitting over the left, they had a preschool class that had just like 700 kids in it. It was like 80 in a small room. And Beth and I decided to sponsor that whole class. And we came back the next year, and they had our name over it as an honorary thing. And we watched those kids go all the way through the school. And then by the time we got to the top, those elementary school scholars became high school scholars. And then the best of those became collegiate Hope scholars. And we have seen all of them. Our last one, Peter Harris, and also Cardai, just finished their graduation. So we had no nurses. We were having to bring our own nurses in and maybe get a nurse from somewhere else to come help us. Now the facility is run by people that have been trained through your Wayala school, through the Hands Up program, into the programs of the nation, and they're now coming back and serving in their own community. And they all took root from the beginning of our work together with Hands Up.
Yes, and they are all the lesson RN, registrar nurses into the clinic. In fact, when these guys graduated, they had a lot of opportunity to go out
and make bigger money other places.
Make bigger money. But we have to let them see the bigger picture. That, well, this is an institution that allow you to access greater opportunity. But if you can't go, there will be no one to go for us.
That's right.
But you need to be able to go and make this clinic one of the best in this nation, so that you will be leaving behind legacy that would be long-lasting.
What's so funny, the first time we showed up to do a clinic there, it was not even a surgical clinic. We were just doing an eye clinic and basic checkup clinic and trying to do some basic things. This is the picture of the crowd waiting on us when we got there. We land at the airplane, we get there to come, and all they have heard is that there are medical doctors coming to give medical care, and it's free. And the nation had been brutalized, and there were people everywhere wanting help. Now, I have to admit, they were crowded. We did our best, and we saw like 1,700 patients. That first year's crazy number of patients. We didn't do as much as we'd like to do for some of them, but we came back the next year with more surgeons and more ability. And we actually, in year 2 of our medical trip, we actually did surgery. A lot of people won't even understand this, but we did surgery not in surgical rooms, but we did it in school, in the church, in school classrooms. And I think I have a picture of that here. I'm trying to find one here. I've got so many pictures, I don't even know what to do with them all. But we were actually doing them in the classroom. I don't think I put it in here. But so we were basically converting what was a church,
right, into
a surgical center. And we were like a big MASH unit. Then the next year we built the surgical center onto the clinic. And we did lab over there, but didn't have floors in it yet. And for 2 years we were there. The eye surgeons were happening up in the school.
Yes.
in classrooms, the eye exams and dental. And then eventually we got a proper center built, and things have just expanded. You can take a look here. Paye, this is one of our medical teams for one of the years here. That's just one of our teams there. We have other medical teams over the years here that have come in. That's the Wayla Medical Center right there. You can see I look a lot younger. Gosh, and fatter. And this is when we built the new building here. This was when we walked in after the furniture got there the first time. We had to set it up, and it all came over. And then look what it looks like today. It's a 3-bed OR. There's 2 different ORs. There's another smaller OR combo birth room. And then there's 2, like you saw there. Here, this is one ward, and there's a matching ward, one for female, one for male, and that exists today. And in addition, that's the surgical center that is behind this clinic here you're seeing right here. So you can just see the whole place really changed. God has done so many amazing things. We have taken. Let me show you the surgical. There's a surgical center now. There's our I team, Dr. Amano, working now in a proper facility. This is Lance Hale. He's up in. He was here in Southern Illinois. He's now up in St. Louis area working. He did surgery so long that he was so exhausted he just went to lay on the floor for a break. That's how bad his back hurt from having doing so many cases for so long. We just can't tell you the need that there was there. It was dire. There were people very sick. Most people had not ever seen a doctor, let alone a surgeon or somebody that's trained like this. Most people, their whole lives. And so we're going to talk a lot in the next episode about how we met and where we are today. But where we are today right now it's amazing. And we'll get to the modern day a little bit more. But modern day, we have got our scholars running the show. Our churches are doing well. We've got more work to do for sure, by the grace of God.
Yes.
And we are making plans to do more church growth work, more development work. And the big thing that we did right was we developed human resources. We saw people come to Christ. We helped them get through Ebola. Ebola was one of the biggest challenges. We can talk about that in the next episode. And then we got to really we're getting to see the seeds planted starting to produce themselves.
Right. So the modern day Wayla district right now, you don't have to walk 4, 5 hours, 7 to 12 hours.
The road has been paved.
The road has been paved. The road is there. And then you have transportation now available. You have the churches doing very well. You have a clinic with its staff and doing medical, even doing their own outreach in the rural community.
Yeah.
And delivering babies and treating people. So now more than today in Wayla, we are just grateful because they are not putting in. We're not putting in a building to host a medical doctor that will be a resident.
That's what's amazing. He came to me on this trip and he said they're building another house next to our center because the government wants to see a permanent MD there, so the surgical center won't just be alive when we're there, but it can be used each and every day. 24/7 babies are being born. They're birthing a baby on average every day.
Because
every day.
This is a center. A clinic that is completely not a government clinic, but because of what has been done at the clinic, the government stepped in and said, well, we will sponsor the building of a facility that will host the ORC and the medical doctor, and we will put the first amount to do the foundation.
Praise God.
So I mean, without any input from us, the government stepped in and said, because if anything happened between this corridor, it is only this clinic that we are looking up to.
Yeah.
After a few days, the government sent in a team and they started the work.
Wow.
As I speak to you, the construction is now taking place without even.
So what was a rubber tree farm is become a center of hope.
Yes.
And the Hands of Hope is still working, and there's more to come. If you want, as I wrap up this episode, we're going to go to part 2 in just a minute. I'll introduce part 2 in a minute. We'll come back to it. Go to hohfoundation.org. Check out that site. You can find out more about Paye. There's a link there under Paye's bio where it shows him as the HOH Liberia National Director. His email is there. If you want to email him or ask him questions, it's paye@paye.org. Paye at hohfoundation.org. We had a broken link there. It's all working good now. And if you got questions, you can email me. I'm the executive director, Troy at hohfoundation.org. But if you want to go with us in March 2025, we will be doing a massive medical mission. So probably sometime this year, you're going to hear this episode, maybe more than once. You need to get on our website and find out, or email us and find out how you can get an application, whether you're a nurse or doctor, a PA, a tech, anything in the medical ministry, but you don't have to be. You can be administrative. You can be somebody that's willing to go just help in the backgrounds. And you can also be a church planner, somebody who works in the church, agricultural education. We take other people along to work in other areas on the trip. So go find out how you can be a part. You can go with us, but you can also donate. So go to hohfoundation.org/donate, or find the donate link at the top, and you can give a gift. You can talk to us or reach out to us about how you could help build a church, about how you could help dig a well, about how you could sponsor a student or something. We can talk to you about how you can help us help this progress continue, because the seeds that we sowed back then, the seeds of hope, have become trees of hope, but there's more room for planting.
More improvement.
More improvement. So come back in the second episode. In the second episode, here's what we're going to talk about. In the second episode, we're going to talk about from Civil War to modern day. I want you to give people, when they come back, I want people to understand what it was like to deal with life during the Civil War and what it's like today. I'm with him today. I'm going to date us a bit. We're in the month of January. You're going to be listening to this sometime this year. But today is the day they inaugurated their third president peacefully. Since the end of their Civil War. And it's going to tell you how the nation's being rebuilt and what the hope for tomorrow is. So check that out, from Civil War to modern day. We'll talk a little bit about that and more about how you can get involved and how our partnership develops. So go check that out. Part 2 will be coming up. You don't want to miss that episode. So get out there and check those things out. Go to onthedoc.org. You can find more about our episodes and shows, and check back and watch more from season 3, and even season 1 and 2 are available there. Email us if you got questions at info@onthedoc.org. And you can watch us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and we are always available on these other partners as well: Google Play, Facebook, Roku, Rumble, and SermonNet. You can go to onthedoc.org and you can find all those links. Love to hear, maybe you want to find out more, use our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, and Getter. Ask questions, maybe feedback. We will make sure he gets a hold of those, can look at those and interact with it. We'd love to have you participate in an outreach. So talk to us about that. If you got a vehicle out there, it's 4-wheel drive, suburban, give me a call. We could really use an updated vehicle. Our vehicles are wearing out there, and we're fixing to send some stuff in containers. We could use a vehicle. If you want to make a difference, you can make a difference that really is amazing, and you can go with us and see it for yourself. You can send a lot of money places and never know what happens. We sent money there, followed up, and I can tell you a lot happened, and we'll take you with us. So go check that out anytime you want. Hit subscribe, like, notify, and share this with other people. And we'd love to have you as a partner. 4 ways to be a partner, 3 ways you can be a sponsor on the show. Check out what that means. Go to Patreon, download us, and look up On the Dock with Pastor Troy. You'll find that. And don't forget slnt.com, promo code slnt.com. Use promo code OTD, or you can go to www.slnt.com/discount/OTD to find out about these silent Fair Day bags. There's all kinds of products there. Check those out. As we go out in a minute, we'll run that commercial so you can see more about this and be a part of this affiliate program. You can take advantage of our big discounts we're going to give you by using OTD as your code at checkout, and also all kinds of shipping deals. If you don't have a church home, we would love to have you at Community of Faith. We're in Southern Illinois, Marion, Illinois to be exact. Sunday at 10 o'clock we meet. Wednesdays at 6:30. We'd love to have you go to coftv.com. You can check out our videos. We stream for both Wednesday and Sunday. You can check us out, but we want you to come and be a part. Come be a part. Lots of ways to do that. We'd love to have you. If you're not in our area, go find a church home. If you don't have one, reach out to us. We'll help you find one. We need to be in a God-fearing, Bible-believing church and developing your faith in Christ. So it's important. Reverend Paye, thank you so much for being with us in this first episode. We're going to be back real soon in part 2. It's been a pleasure to have you on. I know people are going to enjoy you, and hopefully they'll come and go with us and get a chance to see your land. Amen? Amen. I'm Pastor Troy. As we get out of here, we're going to get ready to show you this incredible commercial from SLNT. Don't miss our next episode of On the Dock. You don't want to miss what happens. Find out about Liberia from Civil War to modern day and how you can be a part of making a difference with Hands of Hope. I'll see you soon. I'm Pastor Troy on the Dock. Get ready for this from SLNT, our affiliate partner.
There are more than 8 billion phones in the world. a fact that threatens your privacy, security, and health. With Silent Pocket Faraday protection, you can regain control over your mobile devices. We get it. Privacy and security are inconvenient topics, and you may feel like you have nothing to hide, but the fact is that in the modern world, your laptop is never really off. Your phone emits a signal, even in airplane mode. And everything from your passport to your credit cards contains RFID, and all of it contains valuable private information that is easily exploited in the wrong hands. Silent Pocket offers a range of products you already use: wallets, bags, travel gear, laptop sleeves, key cases, but with the added protection of our patented Faraday technology, which turns your devices invisible and safe from the outside world. Many industries, from top business professionals to government officials, require the use of Faraday products for the day-to-day security of them and their staff. They understand that we are constantly at risk and take the necessary steps to prevent future attacks. We offer this elite technology to anyone that values their personal data, and we are proud to offer a premium range that fits seamlessly into your everyday life, providing security without looking like a tinfoil hat. As we learn to live with technology, Silent Pocket stands on the 3 pillars of privacy, security, and health. Our goal is to provide harmony with mobile technology without risking our most valuable information. We hope you'll trust us to help you do the same.